The question was, did Emma Watson, there was talk about Emma Watson leaving the series, and did her friendship with Jo have anything to do with her staying? You know, I think of the three kids, I'd say Emma is the one who struggled most with it, as it were. Not really struggled, but was the one who each time had to think whether she wanted to continue. But ultimately, I think, you know, it's a great part, and I think the thought of seeing anybody else take it on would not have been something she wanted to see. And I also think that actually, one of the things that's great about the series is that each book is a different year in her life, and each film offers her different opportunities. And I think one of the things you'll see in 6, for example, is I think she's really funny, as well as, and again, I think you'll see it in the movie. I think there's so much more depth to her pain, as it were. You know, the pain that she feels about Ron and his inability to, she think, love her, or does he love her, doesn't he love her, and the awkwardness of that. And she's amazing in this film to me. It's a whole leap forward, and I think she's aware of that, and I think she loves it, you know. But she's also someone who has a life beyond Potter. She's a fiercely intelligent young lady. You know, she got the highest grade in Britain in her A-level, which is the equivalent of her SAT, I suppose, or her achievement. She got the highest grade in the country in English. So she's a fierce mind, and she thought through it in every which way. And it wasn't Jo, it wasn't her friendship with Jo, it was Emma making that decision on her own that this is something she actually loved. I think what's funny is I think at the beginning of the series, she was less comfortable with being like Hermione. She was always very smart, but when you're told when you're young you're really smart, sometimes that's like not cool. But now she realizes actually she's more like Hermione than she'd imagined, and that's not such a bad thing at all. And she's embraced it and loves it, and I think she's thrilled to be seeing it through to an end. No, you know, the thought of recasting, fortunately we never got anywhere near that, and you know, as I said here today, I can tell you that every single cast member is coming back.
That's outstanding. You know, real quick, you know, the end of the novels, obviously we see these characters much older, and I don't know if you've decided what you're going to do, or
we're still figuring out the technology or how we're going to go about it. But most certainly, as I sit here today, we are determined to make it work with our cast. So, you know, I mean, you look at Benjamin Button and what they did, and I'm not saying we're going to use the same technique, but I'm not sure actually, but we are going to do it with Dan, Rupert, and Emma.
The Curious Case of Harry Potter. Yes, hey, how you doing?
First off, David, you're amazing. I had a quick question. I'm a huge
Will you tell my wife that?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the adult actors, particularly David Thewlis, who plays Lupin. And we're all fans of the trio, but a lot of us are also fans of the adult actors. And running with the last 2 films, a lot of the adult actors are going their own paths. And I was wondering if they're going to get more screen time as well as the trio, because a lot of fantastic British actors, like Alan Rickman and Gary Oldman, everyone that you've mentioned, and we would like to see like lots of screen time for them as well as the trio.
You know, it's pretty difficult. The question was, are we going to see more time with the adult actors? In 7 Part 1, not, because the first part of 7 is them on the road. You know, they're running. So we're going to spend a lot of time with the 3 of them. In the second part, we'll see more of the adult actors, yes, but really it's the story of the kids, and the adult actors are, servicing's not right, but you know, they really are, their role is in relation to our central characters, so we will see more of them, but not as much as you might like. Not at all.
And this was the first, 6 was the first film where Jo was on the set quite a lot, right? Or more than before?
No, not really. I mean, I think that you know, Jo's finished the books, so she visited a couple of times. You know, she visited us on 1. She visited us. I'm not sure if she was there on 2. She visited us on 3. She doesn't. You know, she comes down once a film. She came down, I think, twice on 6. So, but she's not there regularly. She came to the read-through on 6, which was great. And I remember sitting next to her, and she makes notes. We always give her a draft of the screenplay, and then she discusses it, gives us her notes. But I was sitting next to her, and she was making notes on the screenplay, and that always is a very nerve-wracking moment, because you think, oh my goodness, what is she thinking? And she made a note next to this one speech of Dumbledore's, and we're walking out, and she turned to me and she said, Dumbledore's gay. And I had no idea until that moment in time. And it was just one line that Dumbledore was going to say, but never ended up saying. Something about, yes, I remember a girl once in Liverpool. That's not in the movie.
I remember Ringo, that's what it is.
Do I have any plans for the Potter universe after the films? There's a Potter Themepark, which opens next year in Orlando. There's, and I've been working on that a little bit, and the main ride there is pretty fantastic, which is a journey through Hogwarts with Harry, and it's amazing. There's a Potter museum tour, which shows a lot of the props and the costumes, and I'm sure Warner's will find a way to release every single incarnation of the videos you can possibly, DVDs you can possibly imagine. There's going to be an ultimate collector's edition, and I'm sure it'll be repackaged every which way, which is great.
And you had a model of that amusement park, of the attraction, I should say.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been very...
Tell us a little bit about it, just in broad strokes.
Well, there are 3 rides, and there's also, you come in and there's the Hogwarts Express, and you go through, and there's 3 different rides, and there's a Hogsmeade Street where there are shops and restaurants. And Stuart Craig, who's our production designer, has been really working very closely with them to make sure that it looks as close to the film as possible. And so in the sun of southern Florida, it's going to be always snowing and always covered in snow. Hogsmeade will always be covered in snow, which will be pretty amazing. But the main ride, which is this journey through Hogwarts, where you sit on the chair on an arm going through it, is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I haven't actually sat on the arm, but I've seen the film that they're making of it, and it's pretty cool.
I grew up in Florida, and you can just disguise the mosquitoes as owls. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Hey. Oh, you're just giving me a warning?
No, I won't ask.
Go ahead. The guy who works there. I thought you were telling me 5 minutes.
Were you concerned at all when Daniel Radcliffe did Equus, that it would kind of damage the image of the franchise? And did you watch the play?
I saw the play twice. I saw it opening night in London and opening night in New York. I mean, Dan's a good friend, and I think what he's doing is great. I had no concerns at all, and frankly, I think it's really important for him to encourage him to do what he wants to do. And really, everybody focuses on, ooh, he's naked, because that's the story, isn't it? But really what it is, it's about a young actor, a young boy, and that's not what the play's about. It's not about him being naked. It's about a boy who's damaged. And I think it's been great seeing Dan flex his acting muscles, learn from that experience, return to us a better actor for it. And I think one of our roles as producer is to help him become, to support him in becoming who he is, and that's a fine young actor.